He got hit by the wall monster. That's where we see him flipping back onto his wheels. That was an incredible whip.
Definitely going to change everything in the finishing order of this race. Jeremy Miller, can he recover any kind of damage? I don't really know if he could. This is such a aero-dependent.
Well, see, I don't think he can because
he smacked it pretty hard.
he came into the pits immediately after the leader, as now Chambliss comes into the pits. So does the 37 of Swiggett. So this could leave Robbie Kennelly into the lead of this race. Keep your chin up, please, mate. The next race run is a race. And you never know what could happen. Race to race. So, good luck. How to ride these cars. Hello everyone and welcome to the famous Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the Gladiator 160 here for the Output Racing League Season 2 2023. and welcome to what is sure to be a very interesting race here. Looks like for the most part people are getting into the pit party. Someone was stuck in the fence there. I don't know what corner that was, but there was someone stuck in the catch fence. That was crazy. Looks like the drivers are starting to get ready for a pit party here as they're starting to file out of the pit lane. Christian Budd, currently behind Sam Niederhelm here. There he is. Currently leading the way with a 52.433 to be leading the way here in practice. Andrew Hennessy second, Jonathan Hernandez sitting in third with Paul Cox fourth, and Chris Champeau taking up the fifth position at the moment. And there's just under 2/10 separating Budd from Hennessy, as it looks like everyone's just trying to find where they want to be for the pit party here. Whole bunch of shuffling going on. No one wants to be on the front. I wonder why. But they all got to get to positions pretty quickly here, because they ain't got much time before they go for the pit party. We've got someone with an auto going, and here we go. Oh, there's already shenanigans. Thomas Harmon got lifted and spun by Marquez. Harmon, who actually hasn't been having that good of a practice session so far, only sitting in 12th in the standings. Second for the standings, that is. Christian Budd, I saw he started out of 6th position in the pit party here. He hasn't gained anything actually. He's maintaining. He's trying to go for a move on Massey here to take over what we can get. He's got there. Oh, it's tight quarters though. Oh, I think it's spun. He saved it. Maybe a half spun there by Travis Massey. It was involved in that. Oh, and there is Adam Johnson in the 0269. We'll just make sure our pages are up to date. See who is still in the 0269. Just love watching the cars go past the static cameras like that. There's CJ Crandon in the 72. He now has Christian Budd right on his tail. saw someone was spun there off the back straight. Someone tried to join them. It's the 44 Scott Nicky, the 47 Andrew Perkins. Nicky was trying to go for Scott Nicky and missed. Jonathan Hernandez, he's currently third in the standings. Just in front of him, Paul Cox, who is currently fourth. Paul Cox actually set that time at 52.808 very early in the session. This was drafting hell. Out of the pits, right about with this group. Hernandez uses him for some draft to get underneath of Paul Cox. Joe Smartman just in that little group as well, the number 9 car. There's a 12, old man Matt Burgess. Very experienced head on those shoulders. And I'm sure after this race, he's going to want nothing more to sit in his lazy boy and go to sleep. Well, we saw the Dupont car sideways there. Not sure who that was. There's the Ford, Jaron Sanchez. The league creator for Team Hernandez, just in front of him, Chris Champeau, also part of Team Hernandez. Or should I say Hernandez Motorsports, HMS. That was a wall tap for a few of them actually. Coxie was just one of. I think the other one was Champeau, possibly Crampton. There's Frank Isaacson, he's currently going side by side with Thomas Harmon. We go back up to Hernandez. We've got just over 10 minutes left in practice. Just over 10 minutes for these guys to get themselves, so it'll be about maybe 11 laps, honestly. 11 and a half laps to make sure they're all comfortable with this car on this track. And with how big this track is and how technical it is, only 2 pit parties have been done. Well, it looks like Kraus finally made a mistake. And that's allowed the 2 of Jonathan Hernandez through for the lead of the pit party. As Kraus wins it into the inside fence. Hernandez pits, so the winner of the pit party is the 27 of Paul Cox. Let's have a look at their times in the top 10 here. So you got Christian Budd with a 52.433 and Andrew Hennessy with a 52.611. Jonathan Hernandez with a 52.744. Just sliding up into 4th place, Joe Slama with a 52.783. 5th is Paul Cox. He's got the 52.808. Cool little battle on screen while I go through this. 3 wider off of turn 4. It's Christian Budd on the outside. It's TJ Crampton in the middle. Travis Barnes on the inside. look at that. Christian Budd just magical. Anyway, P6, Chris Champo, 52.856. TJ Crabtree, 52.870. PJ Leary in 8th with a 52.893. And Travis Miles in 9th with a 52.957. And Travis Massia sitting in 10th with a 52.987. And that is a very wrecked Mark Pentacup and a very wrecked TJ Crampton. Oh, it looks like Slama and Scott Nicky have had it coming together. I think PJ Leary was in that one as well. Well, Jonathan Hernandez on pressure tyres gets it wrong on pit entry. Just gonna cold trickle it, maybe it's into the pits. There's Sanchez and Macias, they go down the front straight. Sanchez currently sitting 18th, Macia in 11th. Of course, Sanchez, the creator of the Apple Racing League. Just behind them, Jonas Marquez. Looks like Sanchez got it all wrong. And he's fallen off of these guys a little bit. I just love how most of the guys in the Hernandez Motorsports team are mostly running a similar livery. Oh, he's got Nicky. Oh, look at brakes, mate. I know it's practice, but damn. We're nearly down to the 5-minute mark. Which means I'll have 6 laps right now to get it done. See, everyone's trying to push it for everything these cars have got now. The scope of the top 10 has changed again. It's Christian Budd, Andrew Hennessy, Chris Champo, Jonathan Hernandez, Joe Slama, Paul Cox, Thomas Harmon made it up into the top 10 finally. TJ Crampton, PJ Leary, and Travis Baker. Oh, sorry, Travis Barnes. I don't know why I thought Baker. Just a music reference, I guess. There's Ken Campbell, the 15 car. Currently in 32nd. Robbie DeVore in the 6. He's currently 31st. Great to see them out there have a crack. Just in front of Robbie DeVore is the 66 Sam Niederhelm. Oh, Coxie got it a little bit wrong. That's in between 1 and 2, a short shoot. Sam Niederhelm currently 25th. These guys will be looking for a little bit more pace. There for Robbie DeVore and Ken Campbell, that's 31st and 32nd with an asterisk. My time doesn't count, so they're actually 30th and 31st. I'm pretty slow, so I'm sitting 28th in the standings. Here's Travis Barnes. He lets Andrew Griesbaum through. BJ Leary just in behind. Running the rookie stripe. Just in front of them, Dustin Smith. Dustin looking like he's still trying to get a grip on this track. He's currently sitting 17th though in the standings. He's not doing too badly. He's about mid-pack. The time just keeps on ticking away. We're going to have 33 drivers for this race. 34 people in the server altogether, meaning we've got a soft of 2.8k. Soft of course means strength of field. The 2.8k is the mean of everyone's I rating. As we now enter the final minute of practice, as Corey Cook in the 61, he hasn't put a time in yet. Here's who has the 3 of Jeffrey Dale Adams. That'll be 1 lap he'll go in, if we can make it around, that is. That Taylor has made a mistake coming out of 2. That, we're going to go to a commercial break. When we come back, we'll see the results of qualifying. So make sure you guys stay tuned. And qualifying is complete. Time for us to start going through and seeing who has qualified where. Of course, kicking things off on the pole will be the 17 of Christian Budd. Starting out of P2 will be the 2 of Jonathan Hernandez. P3 will be the 50 of Scott Ricard. P4 will be the 92 of Christian Poe, with P5 being the 94 of Andrew Hennessy. P6 is the 38 of Thomas Harmon. P7 the 9 of Joe Slama, and P8 the 27 of Paul Cox. P9 will be the 61 of Corey Cook, with P10 being the 29 of PJ O'Leary. P11 is Carl Krause. P12 Matt Burgess. P13 Matt Sassola. P14 is Travis Barnes. P15 is the 47 Andrew Perkins. P16 Jonas Marquez. P17 James Watson. P18 Travis Massia. P19 Andrew Griesbaum. P20 will be Adam Johnson. I'm going to have Ken Campbell, Frank Isaacson, Zach Skotnicki, Sam Niederhelm, Dustin Smith, Thad Faylor, Tanner Moore, Jeffrey Dow Adams, and Mark Pentakoff, wrapping up your qualifiers down to 29th. And then it's Matt Horton, TJ Crampton, it's Darren Sanchez, Robbie DeVore, and Ryan McLeod wrapping up the field. So that is your starters and drivers for the Gladiator 160 right here on the Aussie Sim Commentator for Season 2 2023 of the Output Racing League. Only the one pace lap, and then it's time for us to get serious. So while they've been getting underway, the field is spread out quite a fair bit. So they're just going to have to close up pretty quickly here. Just before we get going here, we've got to check the 69, see if he's still got the 0269 on his car. And he is still the 0269. So again, we'll have to let him know to change that. But here we go. The pace car make that hard left turn into the pit lane, coming out of turn 4. The first start is on green, and all the subsequent restarts will be on the leader inside of the restart zone. And here we go.
Go. Green flag.
Already Christian Budd now to a good start there over Jonathan Hernandez. Hernandez will have the slight advantage with the outside line, though the momentum you can carry is pretty damn good. But there goes Christian Budd on the inside like an absolute champ that we know that he is. And he takes over the lead. Hernandez sitting there in second. Looks like for the most part the front group has as the cars are pretty loud as they're coming out too with that camera angle. Nice little battle here between the 7. That's Kyle Krause. And at the 10 of Travis Barnes. Just in front of them, getting very wide. Battle here. I like it when iRacing changes the battles over like that. So smart when you start getting wide. Crazy. Starting a single file out, there's a little bit of looseness going on in the back. I think it was the 4 of Jones Sanchez. And out turn 2, this all shuffled down to the inside line. There's a couple of moves being made. That one up there, that's a 7. Oh, Kyle Krause on the outside. Who was that? Just jagged down to the inside. so far. The start has been clean and clean. We've got 64 laps around here. There's 32 laps is halfway. And 2 attempts at green light check to finish. However, these drivers don't have it easy. There's no fast repairs if they can get into the midst of it. So they have to cover these cars as best as they can. So OG69, Adam Johnson. Currently sitting in 19th. Let's go check in on our leaders, see what they're getting up to. And there's about a half a second gap between Christian Budd and Jonathan Hernandez. So Hernandez has been trying to hold on with the draft, but he just can't quite close in from here. To notice that Christian Budd taking a much wider entry into the corners than what Jonathan Hernandez is doing. Definitely makes things a little bit interesting. Let's go back into the chaos. Matt Burgess lost 14 positions from that one little mistake he made. I saw it in over here. Everyone's circulating quite nicely. It's just over 17 seconds separates the entire pack. As a couple of moves starting to get made now. Oh, we've got smoke, we've got a car.
Safety car board and flag. Safety car board and flag.
Imagine was the unfortunate bystander in that. I think Sassola in a 93 is the cause. Let's see what happened to him here. That's weird. Just veered all the way to the left and into the inside wall. Did he have a hardware failure? It looks like he's got absolutely no steering input in this car at all. Follow around a little bit. Yeah, his left front's absolutely toast. He starts coming down the track here. He's got no control of the car at all. Now, unfortunately, the 72, TJ Crampton, nowhere to go. Who's that? The 88, Matt Horton, also nowhere to go. Crampton caught the worst of the innocent parties in this. And he's able to keep circulating, but a lot of damage on that 72. That has brought out our first caution of the race on lap number 6. See if anyone goes for a pit stop. I know for sure and certain I can see the 88s in the pit lane. We'll see the 72 in there as well. Ooh, people are nervous about it. Saw Thomas Harmon going into the pits. let's see if we can actually grab a chat here with the driver of the 72s. He's in getting repairs done. Hey TJ, Corey up in the booth. Do you have a copy? It looked like you were the absolute innocent victim of a possible hardware failure there. How bad is the damage to the car, mate? Man, that sucks, especially because it was absolutely not your fault, and it just looked like a hardware failure. Oh, that sucks. Well, mate, are you going to keep pushing on, try to at least finish up the race, get some points for the championship? Alright, well, you keep on pushing, I'll let you get back to it, mate. Alright, guys, that was the driver of the 72, TJ Crampton. He's making his way back out onto the track. We are on 1 to green now, which means we're going to go back racing here shortly. Christian Budd leading away from Jonathan Hernandez, Scott Ricard, Chris Champeau, Andrew Hennessy, Paul Cox, Corey Cook, PJ Leary, Joe Slammer, and Andrew Perkins. But at the moment, at least, Matt Sassola is going to be a DNF due to hardware failure. Not something that we seem to It was just super weird how that one happened. Normally, when someone gets hardware failure, the car will lock left and just slam into the inside fence. But that time it just offered no steering input whatsoever. Alright, here we go. The pace car is going to make that hard left turn into the pit lane. We're going to send it up to the grandstands for the restart. And we're off and racing.
Go, go, go. Green flag.
17 Christian Budd with a huge restart here. Gets immediately clear of Hernandez. He's able to take his normal racing line into turn 1. And look at him go. Also, a quick shout out to all the fans that moved out the way so our cameras could take up a position. Besides this one's on top of a cherry picker. This is how the fans get to see the racing action. Alright, now let's go to a more conventional camera. Thomas Harmon starting to make some moves. He is all the way down in 14th position right now. He's working his way back up. He's the first car on fresh tyres. I assume he's on fresh tyres. He's got a lot of work to do to make it back up towards the front. So to Robbie DeVore. Exactly slow compared to these guys on the Berkshires. There's that failure. So PJ Leary in the 29 car's having some struggles. He just went from 8th down to 10th. And Joe Slimer got around him. Corey Cook and Paul Cox up in the top 10. Cox P6, P7, good to see him up there. Noah Smasher just got around Frank Isaacson. Is that a little battle? Side by side into turn 3. Frank trying to hook that high line for some extra momentum, couldn't get there. Looks like he's going to fall victim to the 7 of Kyle Kraus as well. There's the 0269, Adam Johnson. Just in front of him, 21, Thad Taylor. They're currently 19th and 20th. Advantage of that. They definitely have a lot of work to do to get up there. Power move back there from Matt Horton in the 88. Great to see Horton didn't receive much damage from that incident before with Solar. Like he had most of them in code contact with him. There's the 29, PJ Leary. And looks like he's struggling to hold on to his top 10 here. Andrew Perkins just in behind him, looking menacing at the bumper of the lead rookie. James Watson, the team owner, Team Watson. Just behind him, Horton and Griezmann making good work of Johnson. Oh. A couple of cars getting into the ball there in the short strip between 1 and 2. It's Taylor. The other one was Watson. Maybe even Massier. Here goes Horton now making the move on Taylor. And that is the 19th. Griezmann follows suit. Looks like Dustin Smith looking to make an impression as well. That just under that outside line is rolling like a rock. I think right now is a decent opportunity. We're going to go for a quick commercial break. Back hopefully we'll get some green flag pit stops here shortly, but once we have the pit, so make sure you guys stay tuned. welcome back to the Gladiator 160 here on Aussie Sim Commentator channel. And what you're looking at here is about 2.5 seconds is between our leader Christian Bud and the second place driver Jonathan Hernandez. What it looks like outside of the bumper cam. Christian Bud's just absolutely cruising away with this one. There's not too much cruising going on here. I reckon this is stress central. This is right in the middle of the pack. About 24, Frank Isaacson. The fresher tyres has really started to catch up to him. As he got forced very wide there. That's one really towards Zach Stoney. And everyone's just monstering their way around everyone. Trying to get some speed up so he can get back to the inside, but it's just not quite working out for him. So this is where all the moving and shaking's going on. Matt Horton up 14 positions. 16th. Matt Burgess has recovered a little bit. He's only down 11 now rather than down 14. That caution would have really helped him out actually. Pretty wide down the front straight we're going to go. 0269. Down to 64 and it was 68 as well. Oh, here we go again. Oh, and around.
Safety car boards and flag.
That's a
Safety
caution.
car boards and flag.
Oh no, Frank Isaacson. Alright, let's sit on the 44 here. Have a look at what happens. So coming down into turn 1. So he got loose, caught the wall on entry there a little bit. And that would have seriously affected his speed. So Adam Johnson and the 64 Jonas Marquez just tried to get around him while he was lacking in the pace. Oh, it looks like Adam Johnson got a wiggle going on the apron there. And he's just gone up and across Scott Nicky. And they've just absolutely sandwiched Jonas Marquez into the fence. Started coming down. Oh, Frank Isaacson. He's hard on the brakes. He's got nowhere to go. Oh, straight into Scott Nicky. He's as well. Sam Niederhelm also straight into the back of Adam Johnson in the 0269. Oh, that's so unfortunate. And that has brought the caution out lap 21. Here are our leaders though. And I would expect everyone in the front half here to pit. In fact, I'd probably just about expect everyone to pit. Oh, there's a few cars that have decided to stay out. That's the 12 of Matt Burgess. He's officially going to lead a lap. There's Frank Isaacson coming into the pits. We're going to actually see if we can get a quick chat with him when he pulls up. Hey Frank, Corey up in the booth, do you have a copy? Mate, looks like you just had nowhere to go there. But what happened up in front of you from what you could see? I mean, you're not wrong. But how bad's the damage, mate? It looked like you had a pretty solid hit, both with your right side and your nose into the fence. Well, it was a long race to go, mate. Hopefully you can get it back up there and get it going again. Alright, anyone want to give a quick shout out to before I let you go, Frank? Alright, thanks for coming out, Frank. We hopefully get to see you get back up there a little bit and later on in the race. If you can stay on the lead lap, all the better, right? Alright, we'll let him concentrate there. That's the 24, Frank Isaacson. He makes his way back out onto the track. So let's get back up to our leading pack. And it is Matt Burgess leading the way. Only 2 cars ended up staying out. In fact, 1 car. Matt Burgess, the only car to stay out. Scott Ricard in second. So he only took 2 tyres. There's Christian Budd, Andrew Hennessy, Jonathan Hernandez, Corey Cook, Chris Champo, Joe Slimer, Paul Cox, Kyle Kraus as your top 10. We've got Travis Barnes, Thomas Harmon, Travis Mathia, Andrew Perkins, Ken Campbell, PJ O'Leary, Matt Horton, James Watson, Andrew Griesbaum, Jaron Sanchez to your top 20. Dustin Smith, Thad Paylor, Robbie DeVore, Tanner Moore, Mark Pentecoff, Ryan McLeod, Zach Scott Nicky, Jonas Marquez, Frank Isaacson, TJ Crampton to 30th. And Sam Niederhelm 1 lap down. Adam Johnson is OUT out of the race, and Jeffrey Dale Adams 3 laps down. Master Solar also out of the race. But here we go. This is going to be an interesting one, and we're going to put it on static cameras for this restart. So here we go for the restart after our second caution in this race.
Go. Green flag.
Scott Ricard leading the way over Christian Budd. We'll see how long that's going to last. These two have been locked in battle since the restart after they disposed of the 12 Matt Burgess. In case you're wondering, Matt Burgess has gone all the way down to 17th and he's still falling. It seems that not pitting is the right call there. That's actually to the advantage Burgess a little bit because he had the draft available to him, but the other two did not. But again, everyone is getting up on his inside, pulling away from him. Christian Budd has made the pass for the lead. We missed it while looking at the downfall of Matt Burgess. Now let's see what Scott Ricard can do from the second position. It doesn't look like he can do too terribly much. But slightly. And breaking the draft on the straights is definitely going to help him out in the long run. Also might help out Jonathan Hernandez here, who is sitting just 7/10 behind the 50 of Ricard. It's kind of surreal to see Christian Budd battling with the 50 since all of Christian Budd's success in the league previous to this season was with the 50 car. Cameras to focus on crashes. Just to see where the action is at. It looks like for the most part, everyone is sitting piled out. Everyone's just starting to calm down. I mean, obviously there is a couple of moves going on, but nothing that's drastic. And just in front of Travis Marzi and Greg Cook and Christian Powell going side by side. Out of turn 4. Champel at the minute. Greg Cook just could not get that move to stick. They were battling over the 5th position. Simon has worked his way back into the top 10. I think he only has one set of tyres left, where at least half the field still has 2 sets available to them, and a half only have one. Everything's definitely calmed down here as everyone's spread right out, and we are edging ever closer to the halfway marker in this race. We are at the end of the next lap, in which we reach halfway. And it looks like the 24 Frank Isaacson at risk of going a lap down here shortly. Only about an 1/8 of the track in front of Christian Budd. To the point of where they're on the same straightaway. So definitely a lot of damage on that Autism Awareness 24 car. The Team Kraus, which is quite unfortunate. Team Kraus are just in the absolute wars today. Both drivers that we spoke to were Team Kraus drivers. And we've reached halfway, 32 laps down, 32 laps to go. chat here. Apologies for everyone caught up in his insert. I'm a rancher of shit happens. That's my welcome podcast. Like Frank Iverson as he just got passed by the leaders. If we get a caution right now and he's not involved in it, he'll actually get the lucky dog. He'll be able to get waved around and go to the pit to get some more damage fixed. Like a pretty intense battle going on here between Barnes, Slammer and Marvel. It's a three-way battle for 7. I'm too quiet. I'm never quiet. Some of these camera angles are just really loud, so you might not be able to hear me too well over the cars. Let's see if we can actually get a chat here with Matt Sassola while these guys are racing. He's currently deafened in the Discord. But if he's watching the broadcast, he should undeafen now. There we go, Matt, have we got you? That's absolutely fine, mate. Just wondering what actually happened with your wheel there? What caused it to have a little bit of havoc? All right, mate. Well, thank you for coming in and explaining your side of things. I don't think anyone actually heard it because I'm an idiot and I didn't have the right thing set up for it. But, you know, at the end of the day, you know, it was just a simple mistake on your part. You know, you tried your best to fix it, and unfortunately, things just didn't work out for you, right?
Yeah, I know. But it might be about time to. If I thought I had it fixed, this might be the signal I need to actually upgrade my stuff. It's been a long time coming, so maybe next couple of weeks. So thanks for the consolation again. Sorry for the unplanned caution. I felt like I was surprisingly quick. I'd moved up a little bit and it was feeling good. I made a mistake into into 3, and Kyle got by me, and then it was right then off 4. All of a sudden it went dead, and oh well.
All right, Matt. Before we let you go, man, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to?
Well, for the wrong reasons, this car got a good amount of airtime on the broadcast. He's one of my channel mods on my Twitch. I'm not live tonight, but one of my channel mods does my paints. He did an awesome job on this, so I want to shout out LH Designs, Lil Hooper Designs. That's who does this. Obviously, the awesome sponsors that I have on here. Apex Tech Racing, Supply, Apex Technologies US, Pro Simrig, Meridian TPI, Rowdy Energy, and then obviously I've watched back your broadcast. You do a really good job with the broadcast. So thank you as well for that. And we'll see you next week at the Glen. Maybe with new equipment. Maybe it'll just be a fingers crossed nothing dies this time moment.
Well, I think either way, we'll have our fingers crossed, mate. We look forward to seeing what you do next week when we hit up the Glen.
All right, sounds good. I appreciate it.
All right, guys. So that is Matt Sasola. We did end up hearing him in the end because I fixed my shit and I got it going properly. But yeah, quite unfortunate the way that happened for him. And you can tell he feels really bad about it too. So my heart goes out to him. But we do still have a motor race underway here. But leading away by 2.4 seconds now over Jonathan Hernandez, who got around Scott Ricard. Andrew Hennessy sitting up there in 4th, and Travis Barnes in 5th. Just behind Travis Barnes is Chris Champeau. He's been closing in on Travis Barnes pretty quickly here. We're currently still watching the battle between Slammer, Cook and Harmon. They're still battling over 7th. But for the most part, everything seems to have just chilled out here quite considerably. Yeah, it looks like we might actually have a chance of going green all the way to the end. That's not good news for Frank Isaacson. Also not good news for our other driver up there that I can see that's just gone a lap down. Just trying to see who that is up there. It's Matt Burgess in the 12. Remember, he did not pit on that last caution. He chose to stay out and start from the front. He is one of 6 cars that have gone a lap down. In fact, we went there 5 cars because, effectively speaking, Matt Sasola is out of this race. So too is the 0269 of Adam Johnson. I think that was the 61 Corey Cook who got right up and close in personal defence. The tyres could be starting to wear out for some of these drivers. And that caution did happen 20 laps ago. So tyre wear would be starting to kick in a little bit here. And we're getting green flag pit stops. Champeau is in, Thomas Harmon is in. PJ Leary is in. So too is the 14 Dustin Smith. So this is going to make the rest of this race interesting now. Oh, that was a very broken looking car. Was that the 27? Thad Faylor? No, it wasn't. Because he's the 29 car. No, he's not. What bloody number is Thad? 21. And it wasn't Thad either. Must have been Horton that I saw going very slowly there along the back straight. Christian Butt's still out leading the way. Surprised that the two, Jonathan Hernandez, hasn't pitted to try and get an undercut on him. There's TJ Crampton. Oh, and he's been hassled by the 38 Thomas Harmon. He just shovels him out the way a little bit. There's Travis Barnes. He's on his outlap. Crampton looks like he's struggling with his car there a little bit. Here's Andrew Hennessy in the 94. He's currently sitting in third. And I would imagine he's not too far from coming in for a pit stop. Unless they can make it. No, he's coming in. Right in front of Corey Cook. Actually, no, it's not Corey Cook. That's Scott Ricard. I'm terrible today. Absolutely terrible. Still has not pitted yet. As I said, I honestly would have thought that he would have come in to try and get the undercut on Christian Budd. I think we'll see him in very shortly. He's looking like he's coming in now. And the 17 is in as well, Christian Budd. But maybe a fatal mistake there for Jonathan Hernandez. He could have gotten the undercut and chose not to. Effectively speaking, leading this race currently is the 47 at Andrew Perkins. Here's Andrew Hennessy. And he's now mired behind a couple of cars. Christian Budd is still effectively the race leader. Chris Champeau has now taken over the effective lead this race in a 92 car. He's the first car who has made a late race pit stop. There's only 3 who have not. That's Perkins, DeBoer and Horton. I think Horton's coming in now. Thomas Harmon is all of a sudden in the conversation for a top 3 here. So it's just Perkins and DeVore who have not pitted yet. They're up on the back straight, heading into turn 3. While these guys, the effective leaders of the race, just get into turn 2. And here comes Christian Budd peeking to the inside of Chris Champeau. And that is the move for the lead right there. Perkins and DeVore continue to stay out. They've both got 27 laps on these tyres. Peeking to the inside, Ryan McLeod and TJ Cranton goes Christian Budd. He's already starting to pull away from Chris Champeau as well. So with that, Andrew Perkins is now coming to pits. It's only Robbie DeVore left on track, and we are going to go for a commercial break. So make sure you guys stay tuned. We'll be going to the checkered flag for the Gladiator 160 right here from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Welcome back to the Gladiator 160 right here on the Austin Commentator channel for the Output Racing League. And during the commercial break, the 6 of Robbie DeVore has completed his pit stop and has given the lead of the race back to Christian Budd. Chris Champeau sitting there in second. Thomas Harmon still sitting in third with Andrew Hennessy in fourth. Oh, but there's almost contact there between Hennessy and Harmon. And Scott Ricard is in this battle as well. Don't count him out. All a part of this conversation. And this is the battle for third right now. Hennessy's looking a bit wild and loose. Travis Barnes, he's a part of this conversation as well. It looked like Thomas Harmon was going to go for the over-under there on Ricard. Didn't have the space to do it. Jonathan Hernandez lurking just in behind these guys as well. So the race is well and truly on here for the third position. Chris Champeau has about a second and a half over these guys. So for the moment, he is sitting pretty. There's Hennessy. And he's been pulled away from Barnes. He almost has a second on him. Thomas Harmon about to get swallowed up by Hernandez. And Hernandez is going to start charging towards these two ahead of him, which is Scott Ricard, Andrew Hennessy, third and fourth. They're actually struggling with Ryan McLeod, who is a lap down. But McLeod has 1 lap fresher tyres with 10 laps to go. That's really been a thorn in the side of Ricard at the moment. And really helping out Chris Champeau. Oh! That was close. I almost thought he was going to take out Scott. I don't know what happened there for Ryan McLeod, but whew, that was crazy. Hennessy now is getting reeled in by Hernandez. Hernandez with a late race charge here. I still think he was a little bit silly for not going for the undercut. He ended up so far back because of it. But Christian Budd's always going to be hard to beat. He has a 5-second gap over Chris Champeau at the moment. Absolutely dominating this race. That's also helped by the fact of this has been one of the cleanest races we've had so far. As far as the big tracks are concerned anyway. But there's definitely no tyre conservation going on here. Guys are putting it all out there, pushing for everything they've got. As Matt Sassola has made his way back out onto the track. He's trying to stay as out of the way as possible for these guys ahead of him. Jonas Marquez has just been overlapped by Chris Champeau, and everyone has caught up to Chris Champeau. Oh, just about 3 wide. Hernandez inadvertently using Marquez as a pick to get around Hennessy. That puts Hernandez up into 4th. Hernandez pushing as hard as he can to try and regain at least a top 3. If he can get back into 2nd, that'll be all the better. I see a car in the very background there, up against the fence. Not sure who it was. Might have been Ken Campbell, actually. No, it wasn't. Was that PJ? That is PJ. PJ Leary. He has lost the handle on this car. Back up to Hernandez, Ricard and Champeau. Ricard's all over the tail of Champeau at the minute. When they get to the start finish line this time, there'll be only 5 laps left in this race. Well, Thomas Harmon got loose coming out of 2. Ken Campbell in a top 10 position. In fact, Campbell is trying to get his way into 8th, to 9th there, getting under Joe Slama, and he did. His next target is going to be the 7 of Kyle Kraus. But back up to the 2 we go. He's gotten around Chris Champeau for 3rd. Now he's just going to try and get around Scott Ricard to retake 2nd. It's a 7-second gap for Christian Budd right now. He's lapping absolutely insanely right now. Here we go, the little peak. He's not going to go for it. I think he's just trying to unsettle Ricard here a little bit. What can Hernandez do to try and retake 2nd place with just 4 laps left to go. He gets a decent run out of Paul. Here he goes. He's side by side with him. And he makes the move stick. Jonathan Hernandez back up into second. Andrew Hennessy absolutely drifting through turn 1. I saw that. The big tail wag of happiness. As he's going to try and peek underneath Chris Champeau. That'll be for the 4th position. It's actually really surprising that we haven't had as many cautions as we have had. Even just a couple or more. Could have been very beneficial for some of these drivers deeper in the field. Ken Campbell has made his way into 8th. He's absolutely flying right now. There's Joe Slammer. He's fallen back to 12th. Corey Cook in a solid top 10 position. Looks like James Watson trying to get into the top 10 underneath of Kyle Kraus. 2 of the team leaders. Let's go check in on our leader as he is about to get 3 to go. No, it's going to be 2 to go. It's going to be 2 to go when he gets to the line this time. So here we go for the penultimate lap of the Gladiator 160. If we're going to get a caution, it's going to be before that man reaches the line of bricks once more. And you can tell he's not even pushing. He is on absolute cruise control right now. And he has nearly an 8-second lead over Jonathan Hernandez. You can just see there's so much of an air gap between himself and TJ Crampton, who's 7 seconds back. He's going to come through turn 4 for the penultimate time. And if all else fails, it's going to be white flag, last lap, last chance to win it or wear it for Christian Budd. He's been absolutely dominant the entire season. I don't think he's lost a single race yet. At the moment, it seems like the only way anyone's going to beat him is if Bud has some kind of mechanical drama or he gets taken out by a lap car. Because ain't no one got the pace of Christian Budd. Although we'll see what next week has in store for us. This comes through turn 3 for the final time. Just got the short shoot, turn 4, and then the pit straight to go. And your winner here for the Gladiator 160 from the famous Indianapolis Motor Speedway is going to be the 17 of Christian Budd. Here's P2, Jonathan Hernandez. He's already coming down the front straight. He will take 2nd place. 3rd will go to the 50 of Scott Ricard. TJ Crampton just in front of him. Very unfortunate race for TJ Crampton. Caught up in someone else's mechanical issues. But here is your winner, Christian Budd. There's Budd from Hernandez, Ricard, Champeau, Hennessy, Barnes, Harmon, Campbell, Cook, and Watson as your top 10. So 3 of your team leaders in the top 10. The 4th one, Kyle Kraus, sitting in 11th. But here we go now, Christian Budd's burnout celebration. And let's get this from the spectator cams. We'll get up there a little bit more, Christian. There we go. Very nicely done. Add a little wall tap as well. Alright, with that, we're going to start getting ready for driver interviews, so make sure you guys stay tuned. Those will be coming up shortly. All right, everyone. It is time for driver interviews, and we kick things off with the Autism Awareness Hard Charger Award. And today's hard charger is someone that I haven't been able to speak to for too bloody long. He started in 21st and he finished in 8th. And of course, that is going to be the 15 of Mr. Ken Campbell Soup. Ken, amazing effort out there going from 21st to 8th. What's that? Bloody plus 13 for the race. And a track that's really not known for its passing opportunities. What was the race like from your perspective, mate?
Well, obviously, I didn't qualify near as well as I wanted to. Ended up getting lucky with the early caution where it was, and that it seemed to split. I was just going to do what the other guys didn't do, honestly, to try to gain some track position that way, and it looked like about an even split because I went from like 20th to 13th, and so I gained 7 there, and I was like, okay, well, I'll just see how far back I fall. And they must have got caught up in traffic or something. I was able to hold position until the green flag stopped. And so that really just helped me out to get some spots for free. And then I was watching a bunch of the fast guys up front, tried to mimic their line, and it seemed to work out.
Now, what was it like just trying to deal with the track? Because we were talking a little bit before we came up here, and we were talking about how you just can't really roll through the middle of the corners here. You really got to get down low and get some boogie in it. What was it like just trying to adjust yourself to suit the way that this track needs to be raced?
Yeah, you definitely had to be aware of who was around you and how they were driving because I was rolling the bottom, but I had an early braking entry. So I was kind of just rolling down slow and had a wide entry. And a lot of other guys were early in the run. They would come down and kind of throw it down in there and get below you. And even if they did, they're not going to make the corner, but you've got to go so high that you're going to miss it as well. And so really trying to time out the runs. And then there was a couple times I got behind somebody and I wasn't able to utilize the speed on exit, and so I actually had to like back up off of them to get the roll through the turn. And so it was a whole lot of give and take. Even if there wasn't a position that was going, you had to like kind of time everything right, and it got tricky at times. So
Now, let's just talk about the ending sequence there. We watched you right towards the end of the race a little bit as you're fighting your way through from 11th up to P8. What was it like getting around the likes of Cook, Watson, and Kraus?
yeah, so Watson and Kraus, I saw them pit a lap earlier than I did, and I was like, okay, let's see how far back I fall. And I think I fell like 3.8 seconds back or something like that. And I was like, oh, that was more than I thought. And so I was catching them, but at the same time, I saw that Corey was catching me at the same rate. And I thought he was going to pass me there for a while, and I just had to make sure that I didn't overdrive corner. And I think the battling that James and Kyle was doing helped me out a lot and was able to get to them. And then I think they had trouble on a couple exits with some lap cars that I just got lucky with in timing and didn't lose any time there. So it was one of those. I knew that I was catching them and I knew he was catching me, and so I didn't know how it was all going to pan out, but it worked out.
All right, now let's look forward towards next week, Ken. We're going to be going to Watkins Glen. What's the feeling like for you as we hit up the first road course of the season?
I will have a very good view from the back. Road is not my thing. I bought a new wheel with it that has the paddle shifters and all that, so I'm going to be all fancy in the back playing with my new wheel and waving as they lap me. So.
All right, Ken. Before we let you go here tonight, mate, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to?
Yeah, everybody back at the shop at Storm Motorsports and everybody here at the league. It's a fantastic league. I'm so glad that I'm able to come back and rejoin these guys and a bunch of the new guys as well. It's been such a joy to come back and race with these guys and look forward to it in the future. And shout out to you for calling it up in the booth.
All right. Well, thank you very much for coming out, Ken. And we look forward to seeing how much fun you have at the back of the field next week.
I appreciate it.
All right, guys, that was our Hard Charger Award winner today, the 15 of Mr. Ken Campbell. All right, coming up next, we are going to have our third place getter, and today's third place getter is going to be the 50 of Mr. Scott Rickard. Scott, great effort from you out there tonight. It looked like a lot of fun out there on the Indianapolis Motor Speedway tonight.
Yeah, I don't like this. I never like this track mostly because I'm never usually good here. But I'll take a third and after somehow finding speed and qualifying.
It looked like pit strategy played a lot in your favour here tonight as well. Going for a little bit of an earlier pit stop compared to some of the leaders, and it really it helped you to get towards the front, especially getting the undercut on Christian Budd, which almost no one seems to be able to do.
I was surprised I got in front of him on that one caution we had on the pit road, and so happy and didn't realize I was starting second instead of the lead. It didn't help at that point.
Now, let's just talk about the race as a whole. It looked like it was a very difficult track to pass on, and the cars were a little bit squirmy in the early run. What was it like over a longer run since we finally got some at this track?
Yeah, especially on the exits like 2 and 4, where it's really trying to get all the speed you can. It was really easy to overstep it a little bit and get really loose and slide out of there.
All right, now let's look forward towards next week, Scott. We're going to be going to the Watkins Glen circuit. What's the feeling like for you as we tackle our first road course of the season?
Pretty good. I like road course. I'm pretty good at them. And being from New York, yeah, it'll be a home track advantage, hopefully.
Well, it's good to hear, mate. Ken Campbell reckons he's going to have a great view from the back of the pack as everyone comes to lap him. So that's something you get to look forward to then. But
Yeah,
before we,
I've raced against Ken before in road courses, so I've seen him. He said that before after he's won 3 races in a row. He's like, "Yep, next one's a road course. I ain't winning it."
I mean, at least he knows where his skill is at. But I reckon he'll do all right. But let's look before we let you go here tonight. Now that I've gotten my thoughts a little bit straighter, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to, mate?
Everybody, team, and my dog.
All right, awesome. Thank you very much for coming out. Congratulations on coming home with P3. Look forward to seeing what you can do next week at the Glen.
Yep, so we'll see you there.
All right, guys, that was our third place getter, Scott Rickard. Although I've been calling him Ricard, I thought since we're talking to him, we'll give him his proper name. Coming up next, we are going to have our second place getter, and make sure you clear the next hour and a half so he can get all of his talking out of the way. Is of course the two of Mr. Jonathan Hernandez. Jonathan, you look like you're the only one that had anything for Christian here tonight, but pit strategy just didn't really fall in your favor tonight.
Yeah, and just blew through the box on the what was, I guess, quote unquote crucial stop. I think it was gonna be hard to get anything past Christian, but overall it was a good race for us. Another second place, which can't complain still, but at some point that second needs to be a first, and that first needs to go by Christian. So I think the next few weeks we'll be able to get that done at some point, but overall it was a good race. We executed what we came to do. We had second, third, fourth for our team cars. So that's, big positive from the first beginning of the season.
It definitely looked like a lot of fun out there tonight, though, on the Indian Motor Speedway. What was it like, especially finally getting some long green flag runs on a big track?
Refreshing. But it was a nice change of pace. Pretty much get to weed out, where everybody sits. And no surprise, Christian still up top, but it was a great battle. It seemed first top 5, top 6 ish. Especially out of the stops with the tire difference. You could tell, it's a little bit harder to get by, but we drove back from 11th up to second after the final stop, and it was just, you know, everything, like I said, everything went well, executed perfectly. Um, Yeah.
All right, now let's look forward towards next week, Jonathan. Going to be going to the Watkins Glen Raceway. What's the feeling like for you as we tackle the first road course of the season?
Uh, uh, honestly, it's gonna be one of those unknowns. Like I said, first one of the season, so uh, I know there's a handful of us that have priority experience with the car there. Um, I had a good amount of handful, so I know what to expect coming next week. But it's just gonna be another pipe and a wrench that nobody knows on which way to turn it up until at least first few laps after we start. And I wouldn't rule out having one of those big big wrecks 3DSs on the opening lap.
All right, now before we let you go here tonight, Jonathan, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to?
Yeah, of course you gotta thank you, Jaron, Travis, Brian, Kyle. Putting up the lead, running it. Of course, thanking you and Ozzy Sim for broadcasting our shenanigans that we do Tuesdays. But I guess today wasn't much of a shenanigan; it was more of the racing we all came to do. I gotta thank everybody on my team, Triad, our sponsors, StentAnalytics.com, Susan Media, our PM Motorsport, Chevy Appliances, everybody over there. And of course, the HMS group over here, and this little league over here that we have, and of course, I always gotta thank the family, the girlfriend. I'll throw my dog in there. Um, Appreciate everybody for sticking with me in this nonchalant stuff I do. So, um, yeah, thank you to everybody. We'll roll on to next week, carry the momentum, carry what we have work throughout the season, and see if we can topple that 17.
All right, well, hopefully you can. But thank you very much for coming out, Jonathan. And thank you for making this a fairly short interview compared to your normal 2 hour long interviews. And we look forward to seeing what we can do next week when we head to the Glen.
I think the shorter ones are starting to give me some good karma. So I think that's what the change of pace needed to be. I don't think it needed to be the driving style. I think it needed to be the interview link.
All right, Jonathan. Well, we'll look forward to seeing what we can do next week, mate. Thank you very much for coming up, and congratulations on P2 once more, mate.
Alrighty, Corey. Thank you.
All right, guys, that was the two of Jonathan Hernandez finishing in P2 once again, and hopefully he can convert that into a win one of these days. But speaking of winning, man, isn't this guy absolutely dominating this season? Of course, it is the 17 of Christian Budd. Christian, I don't know what we got to do to make you not finish first, mate, because you are just absolutely dominating this season. But I personally love to see it.
Yeah, it's a good look out front. Fortunately, it was a fun race tonight. Got a chance to race around a few guys, and but it's Indy's gonna always get kind of spread out usually. So, but it's nice. You could really drive the car hard today. You didn't have to sit there and save tires like you would think. So I was able to really give it everything I had. So a lot of fun.
It definitely looked like a lot of fun for you out there, especially with that one restart where you didn't start off the front, and then after the green flag cycle, where you had to battle a little bit to get back to the lead of the race.
Yeah. So when Matt stayed out, that was a little bit of I wasn't sure what was going to happen there because I didn't know if he was going to spin his tires real bad or anything. So I knew I just needed to get around him real quick if something went down. But fortunately, he got a pretty decent restart, and I knew with the tire disadvantage he was at, he wasn't going to be able to hang up there. And then I had to just track down Scott and get the lead there, and then just pretty much from there it was just running as hard as I could. I was trying to wait everybody out to pit just because sometimes if they can wait you out, they get a little bit of tire advantage. And really what I was more concerned about is if we had a late caution and I got stuck out there and they had the little bit fresher tires would have been a little more challenging. But fortunately, everybody kept it clean today and not too many cautions, and we were able to go green to the end.
Yeah, and the amazing thing is we had enough green flag laps to where we could get some green flag pit stops as well. So what was the strategy for you as the green flag pit stops were looming?
Well, fortunately, I had a lead that was substantial enough. I was able to kind of just do whatever I really wanted to do, and I pretty much just decided I'm just going to wait everybody out. I'll pit last, and then when I saw that pretty much everybody had come in and Jonathan was calling his pit entry, I was like, okay, I'll go ahead and come in here. It's a little different at this track because we were running the IndyCar layout, so the breaking point to get onto pit road's a little different. The boxes are everything's just like a little bit different than what you're kind of used to. But fortunately, it worked out pretty well.
All right, now let's look forward towards next week, Christian. We're going to be going to Watkins Glen. It's also feeling like for you as we hit up the first road course of the season.
I like Watkins Glen. It's pretty fun with these cars. So I haven't seen what a lot of the new guys can do as far as the road course racing in here. So that'll be really interesting to see if sometimes you got some guys who are you know pretty fast on road courses and they kind of sneak up on you. You don't realize it. So we'll see who in this field can maybe do that, and hopefully we get an entertaining and fun race. The cars are fun to drive there. We just drove there at Winstall this past weekend, and they're a handful. It's definitely. I think the last time I drove Watkins Glen in this league was in the ARCA car, and it'll be similar to that, but with the extra horsepower, you really got to be a little more on your toes. You're a little harder in the braking zones because you're going faster. Overall, I think it'll be a fun race. Should be entertaining.
All right, Christian, before we let you go here tonight, mate, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to?
Yeah, just all the admins who were putting us on. Shout out to the drivers tonight. We've had, we're kind of 2 for 2. We had a couple rough races, and then I think like we've had a couple good races. So hopefully we're starting to turn the corner a little bit here and get out of that caution fever and get to do some more green flag running because that's what's most fun.
All right, well, thank you very much for coming out, Christian. Congratulations on another win. Look forward to seeing what we can do next week when we head to the Watkins Glen Raceway.
Thank you.
All right, guys, that was our winner tonight, the 17 of Mr. Christian Budd. And that is going to wrap things up for us here tonight. Thank you all for coming out. Make sure you come to us next week when we go up to upstate New York and have some fun around a road course. Till then, I've been your commentator, the Aussie Sim commentator. We'll see you guys at Watkins Glen.